Ba-ba-da-da! Howdy, welcome to BanjoBenClark.com, the home of where I consistently make a fool out of myself for your enjoyment. This year we're learning for Christmas, God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen, sprinkled with some bluegrass favorites in between. The mandolin, which I've already taught, goes into Jerusalem Ridge, based out of E minor. The guitar, which we're learning today, goes into Blackberry Blossom, which is, I thought, fit pretty well with God Rest You Merry Gentlemen. And then the banjo player, of course, Banjo Billy, goes into Foggy Mountain Breakdown every chance he gets. Anyway, if you're watching this on Facebook or on YouTube, here in a little while, I'll ask you to jump over to my website that I'm very proud of. Many of you have. I want to thank you for that. It allows me to put food on my table, and join as a member there. It makes a great Christmas gift, by the way. And you can download the tabs to God Rest You Merry Gentlemen or any of the other hundreds of tabs I have on there. And you can download them in PDF or in a TEF file format, which I tell you about that on my website. It allows the tab to play back for you on your computer, which is pretty cool. And you can adjust the tempo and practice along with it, and you have your own little picking partner right there with you. All right, so let's dive into this one, get her learned, and y'all have a Merry Christmas. Okay, on this guitar version, as well as the mandolin version that I've taught, we have a main goal in mind, and that is when we're playing the melody to God Rest You Merry Gentlemen, we want to have all the notes connecting. Okay, the musical term for that is called legato. Okay, that means that there's not any breaks in between the notes whenever we can help it. In order to achieve that, I've got some weird fingerings on my left hand throughout the song. So on this particular version, not only, if you'll notice, not only have I included arrows beneath the notes that determine your pick direction, down, up, down, but I also have little numbers down there with circles around them, and those correspond to our left-handed fingers. Okay, so number 1, obviously index, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so if you'll pay attention to those, I think it will really help you out, especially if you're playing this piece as a solo piece, because when you don't have people backing you up, it will be more obvious if there's holes in the songs. The other thing I want to mention is that normally I'm really strict on your pick stroke directions, but in this first part of the song, when we're doing God Rest You Merry Gentlemen, this slower part, the pick stroke directions that I have there are subjective. If you want to do it a little differently, if you want to do it all in down strokes, that's fine. Okay, this is just how I will typically play it. Now, when we get to Blackberry Blossom, the second half of the song, then those I would like for you to stick by, okay, because those are important there. But in measure 1, we're going to start off on this D string, and we're just going to walk in to the melody note. This song's in the key of E minor, okay? So it's a very minor sounding song, but it's 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? So you notice that I held my 2nd fret there through when I played my my B string up there. And really I won't release that middle finger until measure 3 when I'm ready to make that next move. And that next move, it sounds like this. We're going to do a 8th note slide from 2nd to 4th fret. And then as soon as I do that, I'm going to want to reach with my index finger and grab the 3rd fret of the B string, and we're going to slide them both back down 2 frets. Okay? It's not as hard as it looks. It goes like this. Try that. Okay. And if you do it fast enough and you play hard enough with your right hand, you'll get that sustain needed to hear it. Okay. All right, that's a cool little effect. Measure 4, we're going to hammer on using our index finger on the G string. Okay, and then I want us to use our ring finger to reach down to the 4th fret on the D string, and we're going to do a cool little triplet slide thing. Okay, all we're going to use is our ring finger, but we're going to slide from the 4th to the 5th and right back to the 4th. Okay, but the timing is important. That's why downloading the TEF files that I offer on the website is so important. It will play these tabs for you, and you can hear what they sound like. So if I was counting that, it would sound like this. 1, 2, triple it, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's the first 4 measures. Fifth measure is really simple. And I just ask you once again to keep things ringing out until you pick the next note. Measure 5, I wouldn't want to. Okay, we don't want to do that. Now measure 6, we're making almost a partial C chord. That's what's going on in the rhythm, is a C chord. So we're doing it with our first and second fingers. And I have a little brush sign there. And the reason why I have that is because we are playing the notes at the same time, but I don't want to hear just going straight through the notes all at once. I almost want to hear a delayed. Hear that? And what I do is I relax my pick and let it almost flatten out and just fall through the strings. Okay? Now hold those down, and then you're going to pick the D string again and hammer onto the 4th fret with your pinky. If it's more comfortable, do it with your ring finger. More power to you. My pinky's already kind of there, so that's why I use it. Now you hear how that note down there is still ringing. We got some great overtones going. Going into measure 7, everything comes off except your index finger. Just leave it there. And we're going to do another brush through the A, the D, and the G strings. I played my E string accidentally, but okay. See how that brush, how that's important? Now, the tricky thing about measure 7 is our next note there is the 2nd fret on the G string. But if you'll notice, the number beneath it is a 3. I want you to use your ring finger, so we're going to have to squeeze up and grab that ring finger there. Now we can release our index finger to come up to the 1st fret of the B string, keeping this ring finger down, and that's going to set us up for measure 8. Okay, so let me play measure 7 for you again. 1, 2, 3, 4. There was not a break in the sound. 2, 3, 4. Matter of fact, my A string down there is still ringing out. Of course, McPherson rings forever, but that's your guitar will do it too. Just not as good. All right, B7. B7 chord's coming up in measure 8, and what I want you to keep in mind here is that this ring finger on the 2nd fret of the G string does not come up from measure 7. Important to keep that tone ringing because we're going to hear how that works out. Once we get down to this low, the B note down there, 2nd fret of the A string, that's when we can release and start our slide to the 4th fret in measure 9. Everything's connected. So 7 through 9. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Now when we get to measure 11, it's going to get a little different. We're going to get a little fancier. And we're going to start here on the 4th fret and do a triplet. Let's take a look at that.